This video is going to be calm and relaxing, and we're going to have a good time. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. On today's video, we are going to be reviewing the new Tati Beauty Textured Neutrals palette, which I just got in the mail. So we're going to take a look at this palette, and I'll show you a couple looks. I'll show you a daytime look that is kind of an everyday throw on before you go out look, and then I'll show you a nighttime transition to go wherever it is you go at night. So hold on to your brushes, it's makeup time. Okay, so I actually just got this in the mail. I ordered it on lunch day, obviously from Tati Beauty. I paid for express shipping. It took about a week to get here, which is not necessarily express, but...
I don't understand. I don't understand, bitch. I don't understand. I don't understand, bitch.
That's a story for a different day, I guess. So let's go ahead and take a look at the palette. So of course we have Tati herself, Tati Westbrook. I don't know of a prettier person than Tati Westbrook. She just looks gorgeous all the time, and I don't understand how she does it, because sometimes I'll put on the products that she puts on and I'm like, how did you make this look so good? Because she's just a beautiful person. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at the palette. It's wrapped in like this weird mesh stuff. I don't even know what this looks like. Honeycomb. I guess it's not gonna get damaged. It's really heavy, actually. This is a volume, so I'm assuming that she's going to be doing multiple volumes. It looks like a book. I'm assuming she's gonna do a bunch of different volumes with a bunch of different color stories. This being the first one, obviously the neutrals. Tati's not known for crazy wild colors, so this palette was definitely in her wheelhouse for things that she would use and things that I trust that she would use, right? So she's not releasing this palette of insane colors and insane textures that you never really see her using, just kind of as a cash grab. This is definitely something that she would use. So let's take a look at the palette here. It's beautiful. You've got 6 basic colors, and then you have 4 textures for each color. So it really creates like this coordinate system to where you can like, oh, I want this color, but I want this texture in it. And then, oh, I want this color, but I want this texture. And honestly, I'm surprised I didn't think of it first, and I wish I had thought of it first, because there's so many times you see a palette and you're like, I love that color, but I wish that color was a matte color, not a shimmer color. So that's kind of what this is. It's like, oh, well, you have the color that you want, but you also have it in 4 different finishes to use however you want to use it. That's something really cool about the palette, obviously. So I was really excited to see this palette launch. Obviously the shipping was an issue, but they got it out pretty quickly, a week. So I've had things take 2 weeks before. I've had things take longer than 2 weeks before. So even though I paid for express shipping and paid extra and it took a little longer to get here, it's okay. I forgive her, because it's here now and I can play with it. What I'm gonna do is go ahead and give you some swatches for all of these things and show you all the different colors and color stories with all the different textures, and then we'll go ahead and do a look. Okay, so the first one we're gonna go into is the memory color story. So first, obviously, you have your matte black. I always say a palette always needs a good matte black. Then you've got the sequin black, which is really beautiful. It's like a shimmer shade without being like too shimmery, right? Then you have your metallic black. And then lastly, you've got the glitter. It almost feels wet. So a lot of glitters are like super crumbly and dry, and you're like, I'm gonna put this on my eye and it's gonna rip my eyes to shreds.
You don't want to rub me the wrong way.
These glitters are like super wet for some reason, which is actually really great. I think it's because they have coconut oil in them. Look at that glitter. This alone could make such a beautiful look right here. All of those together, wow. Okay, so the next one we're gonna go into is Ritual. One thing to note about all of these matte shades is they are all pressed pigments, so they're not eyeshadows. So you are gonna see really significant color payoff just because they're pressed pigments. So that is the first shade there, and then of course we've got our sequin, and my bones are making it hard to swatch these. Then we've got our metallic, That is a beautiful copper. Then we have our glitter right here. Oh my god, do you see that glitter shade? That is... Okay, and now we've got Story, which is like the perfect pumpkin spice fall color. Then you've got Sequin right here. Wow. Then we have our metallic. And then lastly, of course, we've got our glitter right there. Again, those are beautiful shades. The next one we have is Soothe. This is your matte shade here. It's this nice bronzy color. Super light, it would be a good transition. Then we've got our Sequin, our metallic, and then our glitter right there. Let's go ahead and do Aura. If you notice, my hand is like all glittery. Glitter is like bad life choices. You can try to run from it, but you'll find it and it will always haunt you.
Did I lie? Did I lie? Did I fucking lie?
So we're gonna move on to my arm. This is Aura here. It's a nice color if you want to cut the crease, if you want to do something super light. Then of course we've got your Sequin. Okay, then we've got our metallic. There. I need to take a break. I know with the lights it's hard to see. Those are so beautiful.
Mind-blowing. Mind-blowing. Like, I don't even think, I think.
Okay. Glitter is right here. This is the last shade there. And that is that color Story Aura. Okay, so the next one is Poet. And we're gonna go over here to this arm because again, I'm running out of spaces. That's the first color. It's like a winey burgundy. We've got our Sequin color. Wow. I'm so impressed with this palette. Oh, we've got metallic. And then we've got glitter. That is beautiful too. Look at those colors. Honestly, Tati said it took her like a year to develop this palette, and I believe her. This is an incredible palette. Everything was super creamy. Nothing was chunky or dusty. I have like dug around in this palette. Nothing is dusty. It's all amazing. I need to go like clean all this glitter off of me, and I will be right back. Okay, so it is time to play with the palette. I'm all cleaned, and I'll find the rest of the glitter later on, but let's go ahead and look into the palette. Let's do a look. I'm gonna go ahead and do like a daytime, everyday wearable look for you, and then I will show you how to transition that into nighttime, because you know and I know that sometimes you don't have a ton of time to like wash your entire face off, right? And then put on a new face and go out and go to wherever it is that you go at night or in the middle of the night, right? So you need to do something really quick. I'm gonna show you how to do that. So let's do it. So don't go anywhere. Stay with me. Okay, so the first thing I'm gonna go into with my Morphe M514 brush is Soothe. These are pressed pigments. Do not dig your brush into this palette and put it on your eye. You will be shocked by the amount of pigmentation you get on the first try. You need to hit it off. Please don't. I mean, or do, whatever. So I'm gonna go ahead and take this and just put this into the crease. Like I said, this first look is going to be everyday wearable, very easy to do. You're not trying to like shock your boss by going in to work with a ton of glitter on your eyes. Just an everyday wearable look. It's actually super sad when I had to wait so long for this palette, just because, I mean, I know a week's not a long time, but when you pay the little extra for shipping, you're like just sitting there like, please get here, get here, get here. But I mean, it wasn't that bad. A week's not bad. Now they don't include processing time in the shipping and handling time, which is weird to me and seems a little bit of a scam. That's a story for a different day. Okay, so all I'm doing is just creating a nice transition into my brow bone with Soothe in the matte. You know, and I know, if you watch my channel, I love mattes. I think the most important items in a palette is a matte. To know the quality of a palette, you have to look at their mattes. And all of these mattes are wonderful. but you know I am all about those shades, and I'm always going to be looking for palettes that have solid mattes that I can use, just because I don't like my eyes to look super crepey. And when you have hooded lids, you have to be careful, because if you add too much texture, or if you add too much glitter or sequin on top of that, it can emphasize your hoods when you're trying to hide your hoods. So I'm just blending this all up into my brow bone. Okay, so now I'm gonna go into Ritual, which is the darker brown shade. I'm just hitting this right underneath my crease, right up against my crease, just to create a shadow right here. And then of course, in the outer corner. Now I know I've not been doing makeup for a long time, and I've not been involved in the community for a long time, but when I started, Tati was definitely one of the people that I kind of looked up to, that I kind of watched all the time to try to get some hints and tips. I love how calming she is and just like matter of fact, and she's very rational. Like when I watch a YouTube video, I want to know, okay, what's the situation? Is this something that I'm gonna need for my collection? Is this a product that I'm gonna want? And she does that. She answers those questions for me. So I'm just blending this out back again with that large blending brush and Soothe. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is find a clean brush. I'm gonna go into Aura, and I'm gonna go into the Sequin Aura, this shade right here, super pretty. The nice thing about these sequin shades is that they're not super glittery or super shimmery, so they're not really gonna emphasize your texture a whole lot. And I'm just gonna put this on the lid. Like I said, this is a really simple eye look. This is nothing fancy. We're not doing anything like super crazy, because we're just throwing something on if you are going out, like for lunch, or you're going to work. You don't want something super crazy. So I'm not cutting the crease, but I am cutting the crease with this sequin shade. So normally I would cut my crease if I was doing something a little more dramatic, but I feel like I don't necessarily need to do that here, just because this is more of a soft look. I also love that this palette has a huge ass mirror. Holy cow, look at that mirror. It's massive. So I really do like that as well. Okay, so now what I'm gonna do is go back in with my M506 brush. Go back into Ritual, which is that dark brown, and just go over very gently where the top of that shade is. This is just creating another lid. It's creating a new lid where I don't normally have a lid, right? I don't normally have lids in these spots, but I need to create them by doing the shadows and putting the shadows above that spot. So there you go. All I'm doing is creating a new crease. Okay, so now what I'm gonna do is go back into Ritual and blend this out. And I'm actually gonna hit into the Ritual sequin and blend it out a little more on the lid. And this is just creating a gradient. Okay, so that's pretty much done. That's the top, right? It's all blended out. We're looking good. Our eyes are nice and open. Really natural, easy, super easy look. Let's go ahead and do the bottom lash line. We're going to go into Ritual again, the dark brown shade, and hit the outer corner. Then we're gonna go into Soothe and just smoke that, blend that out all the way underneath my lash line. And then we're gonna take Aura, the Sequin Aura, and go on the inner part of my lower and just place that there. Okay, so we are pretty much done with the eye look. Super easy, very quick, natural. Let me throw on some lashes. I'll show you the finished look, and then I'll show you how to transition this look into something a little more dangerous for the evening. Okay, so this is the finished first look. Very easy. I put on some Anastasia Beverly Hills new lashes in the style Eleganza. These are like a nice everyday wispy lash, so they're not something super dramatic. So you can kind of get away with wearing these to work or kind of every day. Honestly, everything blended beautifully. Let me show you how to take this and then convert it down to a nighttime look. So let me take these bad boys off. Ooh.
I just wanted to say...
Okay, so obviously we don't have time to go in and redo our entire face. We can try to just wipe off our eyes, but usually that doesn't work because we get a little bit of foundation off and then it's a huge mess and it's like, oh my God, what I'm gonna do? I'm not going, right? This is the easy way to kind of convert this into a different kind of look. What we're gonna do is we're gonna go into Poet with a large blending brush, and we are just gonna lay this right on top. And all this is doing is just kind of changing the color story that we're dealing with. So we're taking this and we're just going over top that Ritual shade with Poet. Now I'm going to take my M506 brush and go into the matte memory shade, which is the dark black shade, and I'm going to lay this down on the outer corner pretty heavily. After I lay that down, I'm going to take an M514 brush and just kind of blend that all up into the burgundy. This is also a good way to create kind of a wing without having to commit to like getting a liner out and doing a wing. You're kind of getting the same idea, but you're using shadow to do it. I'm gonna go back in with Poet and just blend. Okay, so now I'm gonna go into Soothe and go into the glitter. And I'm just gonna press my finger in there and I'm gonna put that over where I put the sequin aura all on my lid. And obviously be careful when you're doing this because these are glitters. So they are not something you wanna rub, but you just kind of pat it in. Now let's go ahead and do the bottom lash line and then we'll be done with this look. Okay, so I'm taking the matte memory shade and just putting it on my outer edge. And then I'm gonna take Poet and just smoke it all out. Okay, and that is the second eye look. I told you guys, super easy. You just went over everything with different colors. Everything blended out beautifully. Let me throw on some lashes. I'll show you the finished look. Okay, so I went ahead and put on some more ABH lashes. They're a little more dramatic, a little more nighttime appropriate.
Look at us. Hey, look at us.
Look at us. Huh? Who would have thought? Not me.
And this is the final look. Obviously, like I said, super easy to transition from daytime to nighttime. If you don't have a neutral palette and you need a neutral palette and you want something with a lot of options, obviously get this palette. Even if you do have a neutral palette, this one is a perfect fall palette. I'm not trying to like harp on anything or be a stan, but I really appreciated and like this palette. I will get a lot of use out of this. Seriously, I love the way this turned out. This is perfect for nighttime, for anytime you want to be super dramatic. For me, that's all the time. Tati said she was going to do a restock before Christmas, so there's a pre-sale that is happening or should be happening shortly. So go ahead and get on that if you have not gotten this palette. If you have got this palette, let me know. And I want to see your looks. So tag me on Instagram, on Twitter. Let me see the palette looks that you've done with the textured neutral palettes because I really want to see all the cool things you can do with it. I love this idea of all the different textures and the color story that is going on with this palette. And I'm so excited for the future for Tati Beauty because I know it's going to be sickening. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. If you could like this video, subscribe to my channel. We do a lot of fun things here and you don't want to miss out. Thank you guys and I will see you next time.